All right, folks. We paid for it, so you don't have to. I listened to the news this week, and just to cover a couple of things. Well, I'll tell you what. First, I want to say before I get into this stuff, all day today they were talking about the Doge team locking in, and now the biggest beef is the 19-year-old who had the online name of Big Balls. So everyone's upset now that this 19-year-old Big Balls has been running through everything and uncovering all the fraud, waste, and abuse. And I think I heard it best said, it's so funny how they're complaining about an unelected bureaucrat going through all the unelected bureaucrats stuff.
Right.
The state that they created. All right. Anyway, Glenn Beck, Hour 2 Monday outlined the whole USAID versus Doge, went through line by line. Apparently, the director and deputy director have been placed on leave due to denying access to financial records to Doge. It's an aid organization. They're claiming the info. They're panicked over us looking behind the curtain. USAID's been a black ops front for decades that a lot of people have known about. And now it's getting a lot of the sunlight with a lot of that money coming out. I'm sure you've seen over the last week. The President Daily Brief with Mike Baker on 4 February morning edition. If you remember, he was out traveling, trying to recreate the Lawrence of Arabia crossing of the desert. He's been doing the show last couple of days. He reported in. He had to. Right. He got hurt. He had to dip out. He said, but those guys are still going. So he's encouraging people to go check that out, raising awareness for British Special Forces. He's been, like I said, recreating that Lawrence of Arabia crossing of the desert. Right. But for February morning edition, they discussed the internal ICE memos about cartels authorizing drone attacks against agents and military, as well as authorizing assassinations on U.S. soil. So he covered that day about how the border is going to heat up and they are expecting a lot of contact. They've already exchanged gunfire once this week. If you look on the news there, Steve Day Show, Hour 1, Dr. Cassidy didn't want to vote for RFK. He's quoted as saying, upon wise counsel from J.D. Vance. Did you hear about this?
No.
Yeah, so Cassidy didn't want to advance him out of committee, but upon wise counsel, he's quoted as saying in one of the articles, upon wise counsel from J.D. Vance, he changed his vote. And what they were reporting the council was, you vote for Trump's nominee or your ass is going to be primaried. You understand? We're gonna smoke you next year. And so upon wise counsel, he changed his vote. So they went through that and how that went down on Hour 1. And then Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher talked about Alpha Genesis, the primate lab monkey escape from a few months ago. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Monkeys escaped in South Carolina from the primate. Anyway, apparently PETA has demanded a follow-up since there's been no articles regarding the Alpha Genesis rounding up of the monkeys. And so the CEO of Alpha Genesis, Greg Westergaard, put out a response on the Facebook page for Alpha Genesis, their official Facebook page. So, right now, not claiming to be hacked or anything, but put out a response. He thanked the people basically for their support and ended the quote with, "And PETA, you can go fuck yourself." So, good for him.
Right?
And that, everyone, is a wrap of the news this week. Check it out.